When it comes to the hidden truths women carry inside, one of the most fascinating and least understood is how they test in silence. A man often believes that everything a woman desires will be communicated in direct words, clear sentences, or blunt confessions. He assumes she will simply tell him what she needs, what she wants, and what she expects. But the reality is far more layered, far more subtle, and far more intricate. A woman will rarely announce her test. She does not step into the room saying, "I am testing you right now." Instead, she will test in silence. She will observe. She will watch. She will analyze your behavior without a single word escaping her lips. And this silent observation tells her more about your character than 1,000 questions ever could. Think about it carefully. A woman's silence is not emptiness. It is energy. It is strategy. It is a moment designed to reveal the truth about you. When she is quiet after an argument, she is not simply avoiding conflict. She is measuring how you respond when the heat is off, when she doesn't call you back right away. She is not always being dismissive. She is noticing whether your patience is genuine or if it's fueled by desperation. These silent intervals are not accidents. They are deliberate spaces where she watches you operate when you are not being directed. And the truth is in those quiet moments. She sees more of your true self than in the loud, dramatic moments where everything is out in the open. Most men underestimate this. They think that silence means approval or silence means disinterest. But in reality, silence is often the testing ground. Women test without telling you, because if they told you, the test would be meaningless. If a teacher tells a student exactly what's on the exam, it's not a test anymore. It's a rehearsal. And women understand this at an intuitive level. They withhold words. They hold back their reactions because they want to see what you do when you don't know you're being watched. And in that very moment, the truth about your strength, your weakness, your stability, or your inconsistency reveals itself without disguise. Now here's where it becomes powerful. A woman is not tested to break you. She is tested to reveal you. Her silence becomes a mirror that reflects your self-control, your emotional intelligence, your inner balance. And many men fail, not because they are weak, but because they do not realize they are being measured in those quiet spaces. They grow impatient, they grow insecure, they overreact, or they push too hard. And in that response, they fail the silent test. What she wanted to see was whether you could hold your ground without needing her validation, whether you could remain composed when there was no applause, whether you could stay strong even when she wasn't giving you guidance. Think of it like this. A woman's silence is a stage where she steps into the background and you are placed under the spotlight. In that moment, she wants to know if your confidence is rooted deep or if it is fragile and dependent on her constant attention. If she pulls back and you collapse, she knows your strength was never real. It was borrowed from her energy. But if she pulls back and you remain grounded, focused, and secure, she knows your strength is authentic. This is one of the greatest secrets women will never openly admit, because to reveal it would dismantle the purpose of the test itself. And it doesn't stop with silence and communication. Women test in countless subtle ways. She might delay her response to see how patient you truly are. She might mention another man casually to observe your reaction, not because she wants him, but because she wants to see if your security is strong enough to handle it. She might withdraw her affection for a day, not to punish you, but to see if you crumble or if you can stand firm without constant reassurance. Every one of these moments is a silent test, and every test has a lesson attached to it. Many men complain, saying, "Why doesn't she just tell me what she wants?" But that complaint itself shows a lack of understanding. Women often know that words are easy. Anyone can make promises. Anyone can put on a mask. But true character is revealed in action, in response, in the moments when you are not handed the script. If she gave you the script, she would only see the performance. But when she withholds it, she sees the truth. That is the essence of why she tests in silence. It is also important to recognize that silence is not about manipulation. It's about clarity. Women live in a world where they must be cautious with trust, where they must measure carefully the men they allow into their hearts and lives. Silence becomes a shield, but it is also a filter. It filters out who are reckless, impatient, or insecure, and it allows through those who possess discipline, control, and true presence. This is not a trick, it is protection. It is a way of ensuring that the man who stands by her side is not just pretending strength, but carrying it for real. So when you find yourself in those quiet moments, when she withdraws, when she is observing, when her silence fills the room, understand that you are standing in the middle of a test. It is not always a test you were prepared for, but it is always a test that reveals who you truly are. And more often than not, the result of that silent test will determine whether she leans in closer or pulls further away. Because in the quiet, in the pauses, in the spaces where no words are spoken, she discovers more truth than in any conversation you've ever had with her. When you strip away the layers of conversation, the dates, the gifts, and the surface level displays of affection, what a woman is really searching for in a man goes beyond words. Words can be sweet, charming, even poetic, but words without substance fade quickly. What she desires at her deepest level is emotional security. This isn't something she will declare openly because it's not easy to frame in a sentence. It is not about being told she's beautiful, though she appreciates it. It is not about being promised a future, though she might smile when she hears it. What it truly comes down to is the atmosphere you create when she is around you. The energy that assures her that she is safe, valued and understood even when no promises are spoken out loud. Emotional security means she can breathe in your presence without fear of judgment. It means she can bring her flaws, her imperfections, her vulnerabilities to the table. And instead of being criticized, she feels accepted. This type of security has little to do with physical protection or financial stability, though those may play a part. It is much deeper. It is the assurance that when the storms of life hit, you won't abandon her. You won't belittle her and you won't make her feel small. It is the comfort of knowing that your strength is steady and reliable, that your presence is not conditional on convenience, but anchored in consistency. Most men misunderstand this. They believe that if they can say the right words, buy the right things, or put on a confident mask, they will satisfy her emotional needs. But women are intuitive. They sense energy. They read beyond the spoken words and feel the undercurrent of your emotions. If you tell her she's safe but your energy is chaotic, she feels the chaos. If you tell her you'll always be there, but your actions reveal inconsistency, she feels the instability. Emotional security isn't crafted with promises. It's proven in presence. It's not something you speak in existence. It's something you live in existence. When a woman feels emotionally secure with a man, something extraordinary happens. Her guard begins to lower. She no longer needs to defend herself at every turn. She no longer feels the need to control every situation. She begins to trust. And with trust comes softness. It's in that environment that her true essence blossoms. She can laugh freely. She can open up about her fears. She can share her dreams without worrying they'll be mocked. That's when she shifts from merely existing with you to truly building with you. And once a woman feels that level of safety, her loyalty and love become almost unshakable. Consider how a woman reacts when she doesn't feel this emotional grounding. She becomes anxious. She begins to question your intentions. She pulls back emotionally, even if she doesn't say it out loud. Sometimes she will even test you, subconsciously or deliberately, to see if your words align with your actions. She might become distant not because she doesn't care, but because she is protecting herself from the pain of instability. When she doesn't feel emotionally secure, she will never bring her full self to the relationship. She will always hold something back, always keep one foot outside the door, because deep down she fears that if she invests fully, she will be let down. The hidden truth is that women rarely articulate this need clearly. They won't sit across from you at dinner and say, I want you to be my emotional safe haven. Instead, they will observe you in small, subtle moments. They will notice how you react when plans don't go your way. They will notice how you treat people who can't do anything for you. They will notice how you respond when she expresses disappointment, frustration, or sadness. Do you dismiss her feeling, or do you take the time to truly hear her? Do you grow defensive when she is vulnerable, or do you create a space where she feels honored and understood? In those small, often unnoticed moments, she's determining whether you are a man who can provide emotional grounding or just another man with polished words. Emotional security is not built in grand gestures. It's built in consistency. It's the tone you use when you speak to her. It's the way you handle your own emotions without spilling them onto her unfairly. It's the stability you show in your own life, having a sense of direction, of purpose, and discipline that demonstrates you are in control of yourself. Because if you cannot lead yourself with clarity and composure, how can she ever feel safe leaning into you? Emotional security comes from demonstrating mastery over your own inner world, so that when she steps into your presence, she feels anchored rather than adrift. Men often underestimate how much women value this invisible quality. They chase status, appearance, or external displays of strength, not realizing that the greatest strength a woman sees in a man is his ability to be her emotional rock. She wants to know that when life shakes her, you won't shake too. She wants to know that when she breaks down, you won't break with her, but instead, you'll help her rebuild. She wants to know that she can trust your word, not because you said it with intensity, but because you consistently live it with integrity. That's emotional security. It's quiet, it's powerful, and it's one of the deepest needs she has, even if she never puts it into words. Attraction has been misunderstood for centuries because so many men believe it begins and ends with appearance. They think that if they look a certain way, dress in the latest fashion, drive the right car, or sculpt their bodies into shape, women will naturally be drawn to them. But beneath the surface, behind the eye, attraction is not only about appearance, it is about energy. A woman may notice your looks, but what holds her attention is the vibration you carry, the inner frequency you live on, the presence you bring into the room. This is why you will often see men who are not conventionally handsome surrounded by women who adore them. While other men who appear to have it all can't seem to maintain deep, lasting attraction, it is not the surface that sustains desire. It is the invisible force radiating from within. Every human being carries energy, and women are especially attuned to sensing it. They don't just hear what you say, they feel who you are. If your words and your energy don't match, she will always believe the energy over the words. You could tell her you are confident, but if your energy is nervous and uncertain, she feels the nervousness. You could tell her you are ambitious, but if your energy is lazy and scattered, she feels the laziness. You could even tell her you love her, but if your energy is detached and disconnected, she feels the detachment. A woman is magnetically drawn not to what you project superficially, but to the energy you embody consistently. This is why attraction goes beyond appearance. Think of the men who walk into a room without saying a word, yet everyone notices them. They may not be the tallest, the most stylish, or the most physically impressive, but they carry a sense of certainty, direction, and confidence. Their energy speaks louder than their presence, and women respond to it instinctively. A man with purpose radiates differently. A man who knows who he is doesn't need to demand attention. His energy draws it naturally. And when a woman feels an energy, her attraction deepens because she is sensing a foundation she can trust, a vibration that aligns with stability, strength, and leadership. Now consider the opposite. A man can dress perfectly, smell amazing, and carry the sharpest appearance. But if his energy is needy, insecure, or desperate, women sense it immediately. It leaks through his tone of voice, through the way he holds his posture, through the way he responds when things don't go his way. She might admire his looks for a moment, but the attraction will fade because she cannot connect with energy that feels unstable or ungrounded. Looks might open the door, but it is energy that decides whether she steps inside or walks away. Attraction being rooted in energy also explains why confidence is so magnetic. True confidence is not arrogance. It's not loud boosting or aggressive posturing. True confidence is quiet certainty. It's the calm in your voice, the steadiness in your movements, the assurance in your eyes. It is the absence of desperation. It is the subtle message your energy communicates. I know who I am, and I do not need validation to confirm it. Women are drawn to this vibration because it signals strength. It tells her you are not easily shaken by life storms, and therefore she feels more grounded in your presence. Purpose also plays a massive role in this energetic attraction. A man with direction, with something bigger driving him, carries energy that is magnetic because it communicates progression. Women are not drawn to men who wander endlessly without aim. They are drawn to men whose lives are fueled by vision. It is not about wealth or status, though those can be byproducts. It is about energy that says, I am going somewhere. When a woman senses that, she feels the pull of your momentum. She feels drawn to be part of something greater than just existing day to day. Purpose is not something you tell her about once. It is something you live every day, and your energy reveals it without needing words. There is also an undeniable connection between masculine energy and attraction. Masculine energy is not about control or dominance in the negative sense. It is about presence, direction, and stability. When a man stands firmly in his masculine energy, he provides polarity, and polarity creates attraction. Feminine energy thrives when it feels the strength of masculine grounding, and it wilts when it feels uncertainty or weakness. This is not about stereotypes. It is about energy alignment. A woman in her feminine wants to flow, to feel, to express freely. She is naturally drawn to the man who provides the energetic container for that expression, the grounding force that allows her to expand without fear. On the other hand, when a man lacks this presence, when his energy is filled with self-doubt or fear, he repels the very attraction he seeks. She may still like him as a friend. She may even care for him deeply. But she cannot feel the pull of desire without the energy of stability and confidence radiating from him. This is why so many men get stuck in the friend zone. It's not they aren't kind or good-hearted. It's that their energy does not spark the polarity that ignites attraction. The truth is, you cannot fake energy. You can dress it up. You can disguise it for a while. But eventually, your true vibration will reveal itself. A woman may be fooled by words or appearances for a short time, but she cannot ignore the frequency you live on. Energy never lies. It is always speaking, always signaling, always broadcasting who you really are beneath the surface. And once she feels it, her attraction will either grow stronger than words can describe, or it will fade into nothingness, no matter how hard you try to force it. Respect is one of the most misunderstood currencies in relationships, yet it is the foundation upon which everything else is built. Many men believe that women are primarily looking for gifts, money, attention, or flattery. While those things can capture her interest for a short period of time, what truly keeps her invested and connected on the deepest level is respect. It is not something you can buy. It is not something you can fake. And it is not something you can demand. Respect is earned through your actions, your consistency, and your treatment of her, not just when things are good, but especially when life is difficult. A woman may never confess out loud. Respect is the glue holding her loyalty, but it is the silent force that determines whether she gives herself fully or holds back parts of who she is. Respect is more than politeness, more than saying the right words, more than holding the door open. Those gestures matter, but they are surface level. True respect is recognizing her as a whole person, not just as a body, not just as an accessory, not just as someone who makes you feel good. It is seeing her dreams, her fears, her individuality, and honoring them without trying to diminish or control them. It is acknowledging that she has her own identity, her own purpose, and her own journey, and not attempting to make her life revolve solely around you. A woman feels valued when she is respected because respect communicates that you see her worth beyond what she gives to you. When respect is missing, everything else collapses. You could provide financial stability, but if you belittle her, she feels empty. You could shower her with compliments, but if you mock her when she is vulnerable, she feels unsafe. You could even give her constant attention, but if you do not honor her boundaries, she feels suffocated. Respect is not about doing what she demands. It is about recognizing her dignity and showing her consistently that you value who she is, even when she disagrees with you or challenges you. This is why respect carries more weight than surface displays of affection. It digs deeper into the emotional framework of the relationship. Women often test for respect without saying it. They may push back on something you said, not to fight, but to see how you handle her voice when it differs from yours. They may create boundaries to see if you honor them or try to cross them. They may express emotions in vulnerable ways to see if you listen with patience or dismiss them as irrational. Every one of these moments is a silent checkup of whether respect exists in the relationship. If you fail those small tests, her trust weakens, and with it, her attraction begins to fade. But if you pass them, if you listen, if you remain calm, if you honor her humanity, she begins to lean in more deeply because respect creates security. Respect is also reflected in how you treat others, not just her. She watches how you interact with waiters, cashiers, colleagues, and strangers. She notices if you are respectful only when you want something, or if respect is a principle you live by. If she sees you belittle people who have less power, she instinctively wonders how long it will take before that disrespect is directed toward her. But if she sees you extend respect universally, she feels a deeper sense of safety because she knows your character is consistent. Women may not say this openly, but they are always observing, always discerning whether the respect you show her is authentic or selective. It is important to realize that respect is not weakness. Many men confuse respecting a woman with giving up their own strength. They think that if they honor her opinions or listen to her needs, they are being submissive or losing control. But true respect actually requires strength. It takes discipline to stay calm when emotions run high. It takes self-assurance to allow her independence without feeling threatened. It takes confidence to listen without needing to dominate the conversation. Only a man who is secure in himself can extend genuine respect because his respect comes from strength, not fear. Respect also builds the foundation for desire. A woman may feel physically attracted at first, but if over time she senses disrespect, her attraction will erode, no matter how much chemistry existed in the beginning. On the other hand, when she feels deeply respected, she not only trusts you more, but also feels more connected to you emotionally and physically. Respect is the hidden fuel of intimacy. It tells her she can let down her guard. She can be vulnerable. She can give herself fully because she knows she will not be belittled or taken for granted. And respect is not a one-time gesture. It is a daily practice. It is the way you respond when she makes mistakes, the way you handle disagreements, the way you speak about her to others when she is not present. Every moment is a chance to either build respect or destroy it. A woman never forgets how you made her feel in those moments of weakness. If you made her feel small, she stores that memory. If you made her feel safe, she stores that too. Over time, those moments add up, and they determine whether the relationship strengthens or weakens. At its core, respect is love in action. It is the evidence of your regard for her displayed in how you treat her, how you honor her boundaries, and how you value her humanity. Without respect, love is shallow. With respect, love becomes something unbreakable. Something that can weather storms, something that sustains attraction long after the surface level excitement fades. A woman may never look you in the eye and say, respect is what keeps me here, but her loyalty, her affection, and her devotion will always flow toward the man who consistently gives it. One of the deepest secrets women rarely admit openly is the balance they quietly crave between independence and connection. It may sound contradictory on the surface, because most men assume that if a woman loves you, she wants constant closeness, endless time together, and full attention. Others assume that if she values independence, she doesn't want deep intimacy, but the truth lies in the middle. A woman desires freedom and closeness at the same time, and this hidden paradox is often misunderstood by men who mistake space for rejection or closeness for neediness. Understanding this unspoken balance is the key to sustaining her respect, her attraction, and her trust over the long term. Independence is vital to a woman because it is part of her identity. She has dreams, goals, and passions outside of the relationship. She needs the space to nurture those parts of herself without feeling controlled or suffocated. If she feels like her freedom is threatened, she begins to pull away, not because she doesn't care, but because she refuses to lose herself in someone else's world. A strong woman knows that love should add to her life, not replace it. And this is why independence is so important. When she says she needs time for herself, time with her friends, or time to focus on her career, it is not a rejection of you. It is a preservation of herself. At the same time, connection is equally vital. Women are wired for emotional intimacy, for closeness, for the bond that comes from deep conversation and shared experiences. They don't just want a man who gives them space. They also want a man who draws them in, who makes them feel emotionally seen and valued. Connection is the heartbeat of a relationship, and without it, she begins to feel distant, unimportant, or unseen. A woman desires both the freedom to breathe and the closeness to feel secure. And this duality is what makes relationships with women so intricate and so rewarding when understood properly. Most men struggle with this balance. Some smother a woman with constant attention, believing that love means never leaving her side, but that suffocates her independence and makes her feel caged. Others withdraw too much, thinking that giving her independence means pulling back entirely. But that starves the connection she craves. Both extremes fail because they don't acknowledge the dual nature of her needs. The secret is learning how to provide space without neglect and closeness without suffocation. When a woman senses that you understand this rhythm, her trust in you deepens because you're showing her that you can handle both sides of her nature. Independence also reveals how secure you are as a man. If you panic when she asks for space, it shows her that your confidence is fragile. If you become resentful when she invests time into her passions, it reveals insecurity. But if you encourage her independence, if you celebrate her achievements and allow her to grow without fear of losing her, she sees strength in you. That strength makes her feel safer connecting with you because she knows your love is not dependent on control. It is rooted in respect and trust, and that trust is what allows intimacy to flourish. On the other side, connection is not about constant talking or being physically present all the time. It is about quality moments where she feels emotionally engaged. It's in the way you listen when she speaks about her day. It's in the way you notice her moods and respond with understanding rather than impatience. It's in the way you create memories together, whether through small gestures or grand experiences, that remind her she is not just part of your life, but a priority within it. When a woman feels this level of connection, she relaxes, she opens up, and she gives more of herself without hesitation. The dynamic between independence and connection is much like a dance. Sometimes she steps forward, desiring closeness, and sometimes she steps back, needing space to recharge or refocus. The man who can flow with that rhythm, instead of resisting it, becomes deeply magnetic to her. He doesn't chase when she steps back, nor does he withdraw when she leans in. He understands that both movements are natural, and he provides consistency in both faces. This creates a powerful polarity where she feels free yet safe, independent yet connected, her individuality intact, and her bond with you unshaken. It is also worth noting that women often test this balance without announcing it. She may intentionally pull back slightly to see if you respect her independence or if you grow controlling. She may also seek more closeness to see if you are willing to emotionally engage or if you retreat out of fear of intimacy. How you respond to these silent shifts tells her everything about the kind of man you are. If you grow desperate when she creates space, she sees insecurity. If you grow cold when she seeks closeness, she feels rejected. But if you remain steady, giving her room without fear and giving her presence without resistance, she feels she has found a partner who truly understands her hidden needs. At the heart of it, what women desire is not either or but both, and she wants to stand strong as an individual and also melt into intimacy without fear of losing herself. She wants the freedom to chase her dreams and the security of knowing that no matter how far she explores, she has a man to return to who values her completely. She wants independence as proof of your respect and connection as proof of your love. Balancing these two unspoken desires is not easy, but for the man who masters it, the reward is a relationship built on trust, passion, and depth that few ever experience. A woman may never reveal openly that her deepest truths are not always spoken with her mouth, but expressed through her actions, her body language, and her unspoken signals. Many men miss this completely because they are waiting for direct words, clear instructions, or explicit confessions. But women live in subtleties, and the secrets they hold often come out in the quiet ways they move, the small shifts in their tone, the way they react when you enter a room, or the things they do when they think you are not paying attention. These unspoken actions carry more weight than the most carefully chosen words because they reveal what she truly feeds beneath the surface. Words can be filtered, calculated, or even disguised, but actions are spontaneous reflections of the heart. Think about the way a woman's eyes light up when she truly admires a man. She might never say directly, "I am proud of you," but you will see it in her expression when she watches you in your element. Notice the way she adjusts herself around you, the way she laughs more freely, or the way she unconsciously mirrors your body language. These are small indicators of deep attraction and respect, yet they are rarely verbalized. On the flip side, notice the time she grows distant. She may still say, "I'm fine," but her actions, short responses, less eye contact, slower affection, communicate more clearly than her words ever could. Men who fail to read these silent signals end up confused, wondering what went wrong, when in reality the truth was being communicated all along through her actions. Women often hide their desires not because they want to be mysterious, but because they want to be understood without having to spell everything out. If she has to constantly explain how she feels, she begins to doubt your ability to truly connect with her. Sure, she wants you to be observant, attentive, and in tune enough to pick up on her non-verbal communication. When she leans in a little closer during a conversation, that is her way of telling you she feels safe. When she makes small sacrifices for your comfort, that is her way of showing she cares more than her words reveal. When she pays attention to details about your life, remembers the things you like, and anticipates your needs before you mention them, she is showing her affection without declaring it outright. The hidden truth here is that actions are the real language of a woman's heart. She might never confess certain insecurities, but her behavior will reveal them. She may never openly state what she needs most, but her patterns will tell you if you are paying attention. For example, when she grows quiet after you dismiss her feelings, that silence is her way of telling you she doesn't feel heard. When she suddenly invests more effort into looking good around you, that is her way of signaling that your opinion matters more than she admits. When she challenges you or pushes back in certain moments, it may not be resistance. It may be her way of testing whether you are strong enough to handle her honesty. These are secrets revealed through action, not words. A woman's deepest desires often live in the things she cannot bring herself to articulate. She may want reassurance but hesitate to ask for it. So instead, she will look for it in the way you treat her when she is vulnerable. She may crave more time with you, but instead create small scenarios to see if you will choose her without being asked. She may want your protection, but never request it directly, trusting instead that your instincts will guide you to step up when she needs you. If you are blind to these signals, you will miss the secret conversations happening between her heart and her actions. Men often make the mistake of taking words at face value without considering the underlying message and behavior. If she says she's not upset but withdraws emotionally, believe the withdrawal. If she says everything is fine but avoids your touch, believe the avoidance. If she says she doesn't mind something but her tone sharpens or her energy shifts, believe the shift. Women are not always comfortable voicing their truest feeling, but their actions never lie. A man who develops the awareness to interpret those unspoken becomes a man she deeply values because he shows her that he can understand her even when she struggles to express herself. It's also important to realize that sometimes the things she does in silence are her greatest confessions of love. A woman may not always say, "I love you," every single day. She will cook your favorite meal, stand by you when you fail, defend you when others criticize, or sacrifice her comfort to see you succeed. She may never brag about the lengths she goes to support you, but her quiet consistency tells you everything you need to know about her devotion. And while another man may overlook these small gestures, the wise man sees them for what they are: unspoken secrets of loyalty, affection, and depth. Women often conceal these truths because they want to be chosen, not instructed. They want a man who sees beyond the obvious, who pays attention not only to what they say, but to what they do. Their silence, their gestures, their body language, their tone, these are the hidden doorways into their real emotions. A woman may never sit you down and reveal this in plain language, but every day through her actions, she is giving you a map to her heart. If you fail to read it, you will be left in confusion. But if you master the ability to see what her actions are saying, you will understand the secrets she has been holding all along.